Well, good morning, everyone. Eric Thompson from Blueback Health here. I want to thank all of you for joining in. I also want to thank all of our chamber partners. Pretty much everyone's on the call today. As a means of background, when we started talking about a Chamber Wellness Challenge, it was really through the Healthcare and Life Sciences Council that I sit on in New Haven. And so we started this March 15th of 2020, right when the pandemic was starting. You know, we kind of all of a sudden went home. And but the Chamber Wellness Challenge actually was a pretty valuable asset for us at the Chamber at the time. Again, I was on the committee, and the committee really launched it. And then going into 21, you know, we started expanding out. So we had 8 chambers participate that year, many of which, you know, are here today, and I appreciate that greatly. And so having just finished the third year of multiple chambers and the 4th year overall, you know, I couldn't be more happy with the engagement and embracing of it, but it continues to need to improve. And so after we close this out, which today is the closing ceremony, I will be in touch with the chambers to engage in some conversation. We also intend to send out a survey to everyone to get some results. So as we look to next year, how do we make it bigger and better? And so with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and we will go through, let's see if we get it there. Move this over. All right. Can someone give me a thumbs up that they can see congratulations? All right, sweet. So with that said, you know, congratulations to everyone for participating, for achieving, for having some fun with it. And actually, let me see here. I think this is on the scroll mode, which is, I wanted to advance it myself. I guess I'm good now. I want to thank our title sponsor, Pulse for Pulse. If you're not familiar with Pulse for Pulse, unfortunately, they were not able to attend today. You'll see more from us on them in the future, but the bottom line is they are delivering ultimately asymptomatic test results in a doctor office setting for folks that have cardiovascular and cardiac issues that they're not aware of. And their business is exploding. They're in Middlebury, Connecticut. They're hiring a ton of people. And we're thankful that they were our title sponsor this year. I also want to thank our other sponsors, Post University through Waterbury, who's been here throughout the last 3 years with us. We're very appreciative, as well as CBIA and Aetna. When we look at the results, again, keeping it, you know, pretty straightforward, we had really two challenges going on this year. One, we had the moving day challenge, which was for everyone, which was, hey, if you walk 5,000 steps in a day, you earn a point. That point goes into your chamber's inventory. All of the points that the chambers earned throughout the 91 days that we had this challenge would get divided by their head counts. So it really was a true representation of a point per person, so lowest common denominator. And then we had one other, you know, requirement, which was we needed to have 25 people for each chamber to qualify for the charity of choice. And so ultimately, the moving day challenge was to have some fun, get people moving to at least 5,000 steps a day. And that's what gauged the awards that we're going to mention in a second. We also, because a lot of people are competitive, we had the Step It Up challenge, which was, you know, ultimately 7,500 steps a day, but we also had that leaderboard, and we're going to talk about that today. And we introduced the new charity of choice award for individuals. And so we're going to go through that today and hear from some folks. So when I announce the winners, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to turn to each chamber and ask for them just to give a little bit of an introduction and also why they chose their charity of choice. And so when I do turn to that chamber, you'll just need to unmute yourself. So with that said, in third place, we have the Waterbury Regional Chamber. And again, thankful to Waterbury, Lynn and Chris and the team there for all of the support. And the charity of choice that they had was Acts for Ministry. And that award's going to be a $250 donation to Acts for Ministry. And so I'd like to turn to Lynn for a couple words on that. So Lynn Ward, president of the chamber.
Thanks, Eric. And I want to thank Jennifer Walsh, who did your marketing, because she really kept us moving along and informed. We chose Acts for Ministry because they've been a very dedicated chamber member. They've also been organization in the city of Waterbury that has supported the homelessness mission and people who are really in need of not only things to help with their living situations, but in other ways as well, counseling, spiritually, etc. So they've been doing this for 20 years, and it's been an organization near and dear to our chamber's heart. So thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you for that, and look forward to coming out and presenting the check to them. I think what resonated with me as I learned more about Acts for Ministry, it's not a religious driven organization. Yes, there's parts of it, but ultimately what hit me was that all of the donations, whether, home goods, clothing, what have you, is in a big warehouse, and individuals in need can come there in safety, locked door, come in, get what they need for no cost, and leave. And so that is a pretty powerful message, and also, allows the folks to do it, again, under their own accord. So thank you for that. And we're happy to write that check, and looking forward to being out in the next few weeks.
Thank you.
Second place is the West Hartford Chamber. And I want to thank, Chris and Kate for all of their support. They really upped their marketing game this year, and we got a lot more people involved from the West Hartford Chamber. And their charity of choice was Friends of Feeney. And so I'm going to turn it over to Chris to give us a little backdrop on that.
Thank you, Eric. Yes. So for those of you who don't know what Friends of Feeney is a homegrown West Hartford-based nonprofit. It was founded by Eric Feeney, who is a elementary school teacher. And basically, within one school year, he had 2 students lose a parent tragically, and he wanted to do something. So he organized people and just basically raised money for the family. In doing so, he discovered that these type of needs for families maybe not in his classroom keep coming up in the community. So he formed Friends of Feeney, and their mission is to help children and families who need assistance after heartbreaking tragedy. They've been around for about 4 or 5 years. Eric is ubiquitous in the community. He is literally everywhere, does, floats for the parades, does activities with kids, does really fun fundraisers for his organization. He was selling hugs at Celebrate West Hartford for $2 a hug and made $1,000. And in the last, 5 years or so, they've raised over $100,000 and been able to help over 30 families in our community. So that's why we chose them, and we're happy that we were able to come in second place and get the $500 for them.
It's awesome. I know what Eric's doing, and you from a chamber and the community, I see and watch it since we're close by, and look forward to being out again in the next few weeks to see Eric and you and the team. So therefore, coming in first place, which a couple years ago, Judy said, we're going to win it one day. And they did. The Old Saybrook Chamber really put in a lot of effort this year. And so they came in first place. And now with their charity of Shoreline Soup Kitchen, I'm going to turn it over to Judy Sullivan to say a few words.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you how excited we are to win this after 3 years. So thanks to the team and all of you who put it together, and all the folks that walked and participated here. The Shoreline Soup Kitchen has been around for many, many years, supporting not only Old Saybrook, but the region with both their food pantries and their meal sites, and have been an active participating member of the chamber as well for many years. And we're happy to partner with them. And we thought, as we just recently launched our rebrand of the Greater Old Saybrook Chamber, being that we support not only in Saybrook, but the region down here at the Lower River Valley, we thought what better way than to get a nonprofit that also supports the same region. So we're thrilled, and thank you again.
Well, again, looking forward, we do have the trophy. We also do have it updated. So Judy, I'll be down soon to present that. I also want to take a moment and to thank my team. When we look at Susan Bergdorf and Jen Walsh, behind the scenes, they are the ones that helped me make this work. And I want to publicly just say thank you so much to my team, aside from all of our other, charity partners who and chamber partners who help out. So again, to summarize, here's how everything finished. Again, the chambers had to have a minimum of 25 individuals on the leaderboard. You'll see, and Leslie is here, and thank you, Leslie, for joining in. Newington did have the highest average, but didn't quite hit that head count threshold. But Leslie said that that won't be the case next year. So everybody has been put on notice that Newington's coming back at it. On the individual side, I'm really happy to announce the Step It Up winners. And those of you who might have been, watching the leaderboard, this year, you had to use a wearable device. So whether it's a Fitbit, Apple Health, which is the Apple Watch, or your iPhone, Garmin, that's how steps were recorded. So it could not be a self-reported. It had to be from a device or an approved app. And we did an article on Brittany last year. She came out on top this year with 2.11 million steps. You're going to see another updated interview with her in the newsletter, which we're going to release later today. The newsletter later today will confirm everything that we're going through today, and also have a little bit of information on each of the winning chambers, as well as the top finishers and Step It Up. So Brittany's named the American Cancer Society. We're going to write a $100 check to them. I'm going to turn it to Brittany for a second. Brittany, why don't you just tell us a little bit about kind of your walking or running routine, and then also why you picked American Cancer?
Oh, sure. So I picked American Cancer because both my parents have had cancer. I actually lost my grandmother to cancer. And I know that they're one of the top charities for that and to end it and basically help families that are going through either members or themselves with cancer. So that charity does hold a near and dear place to my heart. For the steps, I mean, I run like a lot. So usually I'll start my day off running minimum like 5 miles. And then when I come to work, I work in like a huge site with a bunch of different labs. So it's like about 2 to 3 million square feet. So I'll get like maybe 10, 15,000 steps just at work itself. And I've gotten really into fitness and strength training at the gym. So I'll go to the gym usually after work, cardio too. So it was probably pretty easy to average like 25, 30,000 steps a day.
Well, and the results show, and people always look at steps and say, my gosh, that's a lot. And and I know you guys have a competitive environment at your company. You had another 80 plus employees participate this year, and I hope I pronounce it right. Is it Shufan? Is that Zhang who came in second?
Yes, she actually helped me a lot with getting my steps in, because she'd be like, oh, we're going on like a 10-mile hike this weekend. I was like, okay, well, I'm going on a 10-mile run. Like, so yeah, she definitely, the competition definitely, and she beat me, I think, last year. So I had to beat her this year.
Well, and I know she's been busy. We haven't confirmed her charity choice, but she did come in a not too distant second. Mm-hmm. And then also we're happy to report that Jennifer Colafrancesco came in third at 1.8 million. She could not be here today, but her colleague at the law firm where she works, Dina is here to say a few words, and Dina is also on the Healthcare and Life Sciences Council with me at the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce. So I'm going to turn it over to Dina to say a few words about Naugatuck Valley Soup Kitchen, and also what maybe you and Jen do relative to your workout or movement routines.
Great, thanks, Eric. So first, about Naugatuck Valley Soup Kitchen, Jen is particularly passionate about addressing issues of food insecurity, and she's into fitness and wellness, and she grew up in Naugatuck, so this is an organization that's in her home community, and that's why she wants to support it. And in terms of her, I could not keep up with her. If you all were watching the leaderboard, I was several behind her, but she starts every morning by getting at least 6,000 steps on the treadmill, and then adds several other walks or runs throughout the day. It's pretty impressive that these, Brittany and Jennifer have done this, this many steps in 3 months. So she thanks you for supporting her charity. So thanks so much.
You're welcome, and thank you for that. I mean, I think ultimately this year what we wanted to do, we wanted more people moving, hence the moving day 5,000 steps, and at the same time people that are competitive and also enjoy seeing total steps on a leaderboard. That's why we kind of had the 1-2 punch, but ultimately we want the chambers to hopefully have a platform that they can better engage with their membership, and we can spread the word around the state that we can do some fun, simple things together. And also I think trying to cross-pollinate across chambers is another goal that we collectively have had. So I appreciate both the chamber winners, the chamber participants, as well as individual winners and participants. When we look at just as we move to closing it out, some of the things that we saw, first off, on moving forward, or moving day, we ultimately walked 156 million steps. That, if you factor average of 2,000 steps a mile and 24,000 miles around the equator, is a little over 3 times around the earth, which is, again, if you just stop for a second, that's a pretty cool stat. And so that's what we've done this year as a team. I think also when we look at the community impact, our challenges like, Hard Times, Secret 007, Celebrate, Summer with Marrakech, and Heather Latour here, the president CEO, Hamden Fest, and all the great things that went on that day. The Stratford Library Story Walk and Duck Day, which is a big event for Waterbury and the chambers under the Waterbury Regional Council. And so with that said, chamber, sorry, little brain seizure there, Lynn. And then when we look at kind of the whole self, ultimately, our program allows for a holistic approach to health and well-being. It's more than just, no disrespect, running marathons. So we'd like to think that folks got, something out of it. What we also do is, when we look at on an aggregate basis, what is the population look like? And so our our health discovery program, Age Gauge, ultimately year over year, here's what's happened. When we look at in our dimensions of purpose, we've had an uptick in those that feel like they've mastered their occupational purpose. We had an uptick in folks that feel that they've gotten an improvement in their emotional overall purpose, as well as social. And all of these themes we see with our other clients that have our wellness program, and we look at them closely, and we work with, insurance carriers and so on when we're looking at the benefits at an employer. And then financial, there's also an uptick in those that feel like they're better off, better managing their finances, which is another, call it well-being. Where did we see a couple decreases? Well, one was overall purpose. Why am I here? What am I doing? Do I know where I'm going? And I think some of that is when we look at worldwide unrest, when we look at interest rates, when we look at layoffs, there's no doubt that that does affect what we see year over year in overall purpose. And then physical, we're still, I think, at about the same, really no change, even though it was a slight decrease statistically. And 85% of the people that participate in the Chamber Wellness Challenge feel like they've mastered what their goals are with overall well-being. So just some interesting stats to share with you, but also themes as we continue to work on our programming, both of the Chamber Wellness Challenge as well as others. We're also thankful for all the chambers listed here that have donated raffle prizes. And as we had stated, out of the gates in the participant guide, anyone that got to 91 points collectively would qualify for the raffle. We pulled the raffle prizes yesterday, and I'm happy to report the folks here. I won't go through all of the details, but Melissa Kendall, Sharon Lewis, Tina Pelletier, Tanya Barnes, Lisa Brewster, Jillian Chase, Rebecca Cavazzuti, Erica Smith-Rappaport, Sarah Elizabeth DeMeo, Carabetta, Petra Rahamat, Lauren Williams, Heather Latora, and David Bueno, all are raffle prize winners. And so, and thanks to the chambers that are listed here, Bridgeport, Connecticut River Valley, New Haven, Nutmeg, Old Saybrook, Waterbury, and West Hartford for all of your great prizes. We will now reach out individually to the folks listed here, confirm how to get their prizes to them, and then working with the chamber that made the donation. Pretty much all the chambers are going to be sending the prizes directly to the individual. So I want to thank again everyone that got to the 91 points. I want to thank the chambers for such great prizes. And with that, it really brings us to a close and kind of a cheer to say, let's look forward to next year's, which we expect to kick off April 1st. And before I officially sign off, I'll simply pause and say, does anybody have any questions, comments, or anything you'd like to share?
I'd just like to say congratulations to all the winners this time. And it was difficult for us at Newington to give up that trophy, but I'm sure, Judy, you're going to have a nice place on the top of your bookcase for it coming up.
Well, we'll keep it really well. Don't worry.
Well, and it'll be on display for anybody that wants to go down and visit the Old Saybrook Chamber, because they're not too far from the beach, and Judy and her team are great hosts when I visit. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, come on down.
Along with everyone else. Well, great. I'm going to bring it to a close. And like I said, we will send out the link to this recording for anyone that wants to repost it to their chambers. And if anybody has any other questions, comments, observations, you know how to reach me. And again, I can't thank everyone enough. With that, have a wonderful rest of the summer and a great finish to the week. And look forward to seeing all of you soon.
Thanks so much, Eric.
Yeah, thank you.